Hello there guys, Fungi here, and welcome to Stellaris. Okay then, so for those of you who don't know what Stellaris is, it is a Grand Strategy 4X space game made by Paradox Interactive. Now I'm going to be quite honest here, I've never really played too much of Paradox's strategy games. I mean, I've played a little bit of Crusader Kings 2 and Europa Universalis or whatever the fuck it's called. I've played a little bit of those, but I never really got into them. So yeah, I was a bit skeptical about trying this game out, but it's actually a really damn good game. I've been... You know, it seems more like an entry-level game for these types of grand strategies. I mean, I played a little bit of stuff like Eardor as well, and Eardor's Masters of the Broken World, or whatever the hell it's called. But, you know, this one intrigues me a lot, and we're going to have a little bit of a playthrough with it. So I've spent about a good 5-6 hours playing a few different empires and whatnot. And I got a general gist of knowledge for the game. So let's continue, shall we? So these are the empires we can pick. As you can see, all these are the default ones. So as you can see, we've got humans, and we've got those reptilians. We've got birds, avian. We've got arthropod. Yeah, you're gonna hear me pronounce some of these extremely wrong. So. Yeah, laugh to your heart's content. But yeah, these guys, we've got the molluscoid or whatever. We've got fungoids and mammalian. So we are actually going to play with one that I've created, the fungoid. Yep. So this is the Shroom Commonwealth. I'm just going to quickly show you what this particular empire has. So, if we just go through this. So to start off with, we have a few traits here. So our shrooms are going to be intelligent, slow learning, repugnant adaptivists. So that's great. So intelligence gives us quite a decent amount of output to our research, which I'll obviously talk through once we get into the game. We've got slow learners, which it decreases our experience gain. Not particularly brilliant, but not particularly bad either. Repugnant. Other species have a lower happiness with us, which is a bit unfortunate, but whatever. And adaptivity, which actually gives us habitability 10%, which is quite significant, and you'll see why a bit later. So we've also got a name of the starting ruler, and it's going to be the Shroom King, because why not? This is the planet. So each empire has a home world that they are able to adapt to very easily. So ours is going to be the tropical world. Now, with that in mind, we've got a tropical preference. So we can still colonize other planets, but we're not going to get as much habitability. In other words, we're not going to get that much happiness, and it's just not going to be that great in general if we were to, say, colonize arid or ocean planets. But as you can see, tropical is obviously our best one. There is another planet type called Gaia, or whatever it is, and that's 100% regardless of your preference. That's pretty cool. As you can see, our world name is going to be Shroomtopia, and the star name is going to be Fungis, because why not? Not fungus, fungis. Yeah. Of course, we've got our fungoid city there. We've got some governance and ethics. So we have we are xenophile fanatic materialists, which is kind of cool. So we've got the xenophobia. Minus 10%, so in other words, we're tolerant of other different species. Really cool. And we also have the pop modifier for extra research. So we're actually quite into research. We've got like a 20% research bonus right off the bat, which is really nice. Not only that, we have to decide what kind of election type we're going to have. So I've picked the science directorate, which basically means that we have an election every 40 to 50 years. It selects a new ruler, so it's quite a significant time before any elections are held. It will give us an extra research alternative when we come to research, and I'll talk about that a bit later. And it will also give us an extra Empire leader capacity, which is fantastic. And of course we got our Empire name there, and we got our logo and stuff, and obviously all these are customizable, really nice. Our starting weapons are going to be projectile weapons because, yeah, we're mushrooms. Makes sense. FTL method. I haven't really played that much with warp travel. I played a bit of hyperspace. Hyperspace is a bit difficult to do. It's pretty cool. Hyperspace basically requires you to have lanes, so it has to follow a certain path. Whereas wormhole travel, which is probably my favourite way of having my favourite FTL, basically you have to construct wormhole stations, and they will allow you to basically warp into other planets that are in your radius. Pretty cool. It's pretty fast as well. So that's my preferred FTL method. But yeah, coffee me guts up here. Not good. Of course we've got our fungoid ships, and there we have it. So now we've got that, we are going to say done. So we're going to go with a large galaxy size. Galaxy shape. I've tried ring's pretty cool, but it's very tight and compact. The elliptical is okay. It's like the standard map. I think I'm actually going to go with spiral. That seems like a fun idea. 4-arm spiral. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. We're going to keep the 6 advanced starts, but I'm going to go ahead and reduce this to 20. And everything else is fine. Difficulty normal, allowed FTL method NA, and Iron mode is of course going to be off because I'm a noob. Simple as that. And then you get to see the game in all its glory. Fantastic looking game, I must say. Alright. So here we are, the Shroomer Commonwealth. In the eons since the first primitive shroom communities took shape in the dense jungles of Shroomtopia, our civilization has spread and prospered. Yep, I'm not going to read all that. Basically, we are there. That's fantastic. Alright, I don't need advisor. Go away. Go away. Right. So here it is. It actually looks a bit like a clusterfuck, doesn't it? It's actually pretty simple. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually just knock that on. There we go. Right. So here we are. As you can see, we can zoom in and out of the map. Look how brilliant and detailed that is. And then we can zoom in and out. Fantastic. So this is just one. This is just one star, one solar system. There's actually more than that. If we were to go to the galaxy map, you can see that this is where we are. Fungus, and this area is our influence. So this here is where we have like influence, like in games like Civ, for example. You have like the outer, and that's where you can do stuff like construct stations and whatnot. This particular one is our sensor reading, so we can see any type of stuff that's on the planets and any type of ships that's in this range, which is pretty cool. That can be expanded as the game goes on. And also this particular ring here, this is our wormhole distance. So we've got one wormhole generator here. If I can find it, where's it gone? There it is. So there is our wormhole generator. And basically it allows us to go to any of this space that's around here. If we want to explore some of the other planets that's outside, we have to build another wormhole generator to cover that. But we don't have to worry about that just yet. As you can see, we've got plenty of planets to actually explore. But what we're best off doing first is exploring our solar system. So we start off with a few military fleets. We'll use these to do a bit of recon to start off with. We have a construction ship which allows us to construct stations, to get resources and whatnot. Serves a few other purposes as well. We can actually build more wormhole generators for the construction ship, etc, etc. And we also have a science ship which does all the sciencey things. These are the ones that are going to be observing this particular system. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the ship. Now each starting ship starts off with a leader, as you can see. So currently we have an archaeologist, which is pretty cool. And this particular trait gives us a anomaly research speed of 50%, which is really nice. But this is just for ancient civilization anomalies, which we'll get to a bit later. And of course, it reduces the fail risk as well, which is very important. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off. This is our own planet. We're going to start off with surveying this system, starting from there. So when we unpause, the science ship will go around and start surveying planets and seeing what's on them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just plot faster. Okay. So as you can see, we've actually got a few pop-ups here. So this is our research. So what we want to do is we want to start research straight away. So as you can see, we've got 3 different areas. We have our physics research, our society research, and our engineering research. Each researcher usually has an ability. As we can see, this one here is adaptable, which increases leader experience gain, which is actually quite nice considering we have since we have the negative trait of minus 25, so that kind of counteracts that. This particular one has a research speed for biology, which gives it a plus 10 bonus in that, which is really cool. And then we've got adaptable, which is exactly the same as that one. So these ones aren't actually that great as being researchers. So maybe later on in the future we might want to get rid of these and find someone else. But for now, they're fine. So if we click on start research, we can see we've got 4 options to choose. Now normally you would only have 3 options to choose, but because we took the because we have the election, I'll try and remember which election we actually have now because there is quite a few. Which election have we got? Fuck's sake, I'm trying to remember which one we have. Oh dear, I'm trying to remember which one we have and I can't remember. Either way, we've got the election that allows us to choose an extra one of these researches when they are generated. So it will always randomly generate from a pool. So you won't always get the exact same 3 or 4 options each game. And depending on which research you have will depend on also what research is actually generated. So you need to bear that in mind. Okay, so to start off with, we have solar panel network. That's actually pretty useful earlier on. We've also got fusion reactor, which gives us more power in our ships. We also have quantum field, which will give us a physics lab, which will increase our physics research. And we've got survey speed and gravity sense. You know what? I think I'm going to go with the solar panel to start off with, since that will give us a huge influx in our power. We'll talk about that in a bit. We are going to be taking New World's Protocol. You'll always have a choice of starting off with this when you click your society to start off with. So this one will always be an option because it's so important. You need colony ships to start colonizing planets as soon as possible. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. That's going to take 71 months. That actually costs quite a bit. And then for engineering, we have improved spaceport. Very useful, but not useful yet. We've got nuclear missiles, geothermal fracking. This is probably going to be the most useful one. This basically gives us a new building that generates more resources. So I'll go ahead and grab that. Right. So the game has 3 basic resources. We have energy credits, we have minerals, and influence. So energy credits, basically this is kind of this is kind of like money. So you spend money by making stations, making buildings. They actually cost money to keep going. And some events also allows you to spend credits as well. Minerals are needed for fucking nearly everything. Every station you build, every building you build, you're gonna need minerals to actually build it. And then influence, this allows you to do quite a lot of things like issue edicts and a lot of other things like expansions and stuff like that. That actually that's always usually a static free. It's usually a free monthly game for that. There are certain things that will increase that ever so slightly, and there's some things that will decrease it ever so slightly. Okie dokie then. So why don't we see what's on our planet? So here is our governor. He gives a lot of happiness, a decent amount of construction time, a clear block of time as well, which is really cool. And of course, we've got all these outputs which increase our research output. Obviously, 10% is not going to be that much yet, but it will be once we start constructing some stations that will allow us to research, etc., etc. Currently, we are producing enough food to keep everyone happy, as well as to keep generating pop. Population is really important. So if we go to the surface, you'll see that we start off with a excuse me. We start off with a planetary administration. So this building is basically the capital kind of thing, and every adjacent square next to it will increase the production by +1 to start off with. So you'll get an increase +1 in minerals, energy, and food. The research it doesn't include, so bear that in mind. And we've actually got a really nice start here. We've actually, wow, foresight research. That's fantastic. Wow. But yeah, as you can see, we're doing pretty well. So these represent a population in your planet. So as you can see, we've got 7 populations. So we have 7 pops. Now as you can see, these haven't got buildings yet, so we should probably go ahead and start that off. I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with making a mining network. We haven't got any more tiles that have a bonus to mining yet. So I may actually leave that for the time being and see if we can find any mineable ores around here. So I'm going to go ahead and unpause and go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to do my fleet is I'm going to go ahead and get them to start basically just looking to see what these planets offer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Like so. So that's basically stacked all them orders by holding shift and right clicking. And what this will basically do is the ship will visit the planet and then walk back out and then walk back into another planet and walk back out. That's basically what it's going to be doing. That's all I want it to do. Just want to map it out. And our science ship is doing all sciencey things and actually... Okay, so we've come across our first encounter. So we've encountered some form of alien vessels in the Rimborf system. These strange objects have been flagged as alpha aliens until we can learn more about them. We should proceed with caution. Indeedly do. So... if we go to our situation log, and you'll be using this quite a lot, you'll see that... can we just move that? You'll see that we have... we can research this. Now, researching this will actually cost us... well, basically make our society research this rather than researching their research that they've been dedicated. So, while it's a good idea to do these... it's usually not always a good idea to do them straight away because they are researching, the colony ship, which is really important. But there's kind of an overflow system in the game. So if I was to go ahead and do this, and I'm going to just show this for the sake of it. So we are going to do this. So whilst doing that, what will happen is since these resources generate every month. So as you can see, I generated 5. Now, as you can see, it's got there stored 5, whereas obviously these don't have stored. So what will happen is while research is put on hold, you will still generate research for that particular tree, and it will just get stored. So what will happen is once I finish this project, it will go back to researching, and it will spend those points on that particular research. Now, it won't spend it all at once. But what it'll do is it will take whatever you're making and basically double it, which is really cool. Really cool mechanic. So you're not really wasting time doing the research. So that's cool. Alright, so we've encountered even more aliens, and yes, we are going to go ahead and just do that one as well while we have it. Alright, so we have now come across an anomaly. These are random events that happen in the game. Basically, you need to get your research to research them and see what it is. So normally there's a failure risk involved depending on how skillful your science ship is, or your science leader is on that particular ship. So as you can see, we've only got one skill, but there's no failure risk in this, so this is just going to give me stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and research it. That will take time, but it's worth it. Now as you can see, we've actually come across a planet here that has some resources, so we can build a mining station in orbit to the planet to acquire them. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a construction ship, we're going to right click it, and we're going to build a mining station, and that's what's going to happen. So the construction ship will now come over here, go la di blah di blah, and do that. Alright, we have encountered some form of alien vessels in the Rasolg system. I think I don't know. These strange objects have been flagged as gamma aliens. So yes, we'll do that as well. And we come across Delta aliens too. So one of the cool things you can do by actually doing this and stacking them up and researching them at the same time, it actually won't have too much of an effect, because you'll research these at the same time even if your researcher is busy doing alpha. So for example, because my researcher is doing that one as well, it'll research these at the same time. Really cool. So you save a little bit more time. That does mean that more society research will still store up, as to be expected. Alright, so I don't need to look at that now. That's cool. It's really cool. It's a really pretty game. Really pretty. Alright. So we did find some hostiles here. Holy shit. Alright, the entities encountered by our fleet some time ago are spaceborne forms of life, quickly nicknamed Space Amoeba, following an analyst's gross misreading of initial sensor output. The creature is in fact larger than the average Shroom corvette. Further study is warranted. We may choose to either remotely monitor the creature and its kin from Shroomtopia, or attempt to swiftly bring down a specimen to study. Okay, so as you can see, we've got two choices here. We can either observe them for longer and see what happens, or we can take them apart and basically scan their remains. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and observe them. We don't really have the capabilities to take them on at the moment, so that's probably for the best. And now this gives us the option to research it, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And that's going to be done exactly the same time as these as well. At least I think it is. I've paused it, that's why. Yep, that's going to be exactly the same time, so that's fine. Ookily dookily. We have found one of our old probes on Avalon, whatever. It has somehow kept intact all these years and is still trying to send data to our home world. Yay, we shall continue to investigate. So some of these choices will actually be based on your traits that you picked. So because we have the fanatic materialist ethic, we actually get this. Our efforts are finally paid off. So what will that allow us to do? I actually have no idea what that will allow us to do. It didn't actually say, did it? Oh well, whatever. That was one of the anomaly anyway. Where was that anomaly though? No idea. Anyway, so one of the reasons why I'll turn this on, this actually gives you a detailed minimap. So as you can see, if I was to take this off, it would only show stuff like your influence, whereas if you turned it on, it will actually give you a lot more tactical, and you can actually see your sensor range and your wormhole range, which is obviously a lot better. You can make more educated guesses as to what stuff you need doing and whatnot. Cool, right? Okay, I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't met anyone yet. Well, we're just actually kind of researching them to see if they're actually a faction, if they're actually an empire, or if they're just random aliens. As you do. Alright then, so that is my science ship. It's still trying to survey.
Special project complete.
Okay, so the space amoebas, the nickname now lovingly popularised on Shroomtopian, are solitary animals when left to their own devices. All but the youngest specimens are accompanied by quasi-independent organisms dubbed flagella, seemingly spawned by the amoeba and programmed through liquid RNA-laced secretions to do the bidding of the host. Blah-de 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 blah. The great thing about these, though, is that depending on what ethics you have, you actually get a different kind of story arc, which is kind of cool. Okie dokie. So there are potentially military applications of the graceful patterns of circulation apparent in the flagella's movement. So this will actually give us a +5 evasion, which is really cool for our ships. So it is worthwhile doing these.
Special
Now what's that?
complete.
Ooh, no, that's just my wormhole thingy majig. Alright. So the space form life forms which the Shroom Head of Society Research has come to refer to as Tianki are docile creatures capable of accessing some lower dimension of subspace. They roam from system to system with relative ease, though nearly the same ease as Shroom fleets even. Okie dokie. They will rarely, if ever, attack. Even when provoked, they can safely be ignored. Hunting them would be a loss anyway. Indeed. Actually, you could just ignore that and still take them on anyway, because they can actually drop debris which can be analysed. And sometimes it's worthwhile doing. Okay, so issue a special project for remote study of the crystals. So this is the crystalline entities. Okay, this will give us a new special project. This one actually uses physics research. Let's be wary of them. So there we go, we're going to go ahead and do both of these at the same time. What we'll do now, since we've got this, is we're going to go ahead and build a mining station. We need more mineral production now. Minerals are just so important early game. So is energy credits, though, to be honest. They're just really important. It said that was weird. Alright, so let's see if we can build anything on the surface to help. So you notice we've got a pop here that's kind of translucent. That means that the pop is actually growing. So you got to give it time for it to grow. But once it's fully grown, it will start working that tile. So obviously that's a great tile to start on, because that's going to give us a lot more research. But really, I need more minerals. So I'm going to go ahead and start off a mineral network right here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and move this shroom over here. Oh, I can't be pointless yet because the building hasn't finished. Once the building finishes, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So these are blockers. The ones on your first planet will always be yellow. You can always get rid of them. But once you start colonising other planets, they become a hell of a lot harder to actually get to remove, and you actually need to research certain technologies to remove them. So let's bear that in mind. We haven't really got. Yeah, this is not a very productive planet in terms of minerals. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait for that to be done, and then we'll assign a pop to it. Oh, we've actually got a positive trait. Yeah, capital world, of course. Okay, so we'll need to gain level. Fantastic. That is our science ship. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to stick a cut in here, and I'll see you next time.